The US dollar, the currency that powers nations. But what if it loses its might? Could it send shockwaves through your life? From your grocery bills to your retirement dreams, the impact could be huge. In this video, we'll break down what a dollar collapse could mean for you. Is it time to panic or plan? Let's find out together. Imagine waking up one morning to find that the US dollar, the cornerstone of global finance, has collapsed. While this might sound like a plot from a conspiracy theory or a pitch from someone selling gold or cryptocurrency, it's a topic that occasionally finds its way into mainstream conversations. For decades, the dollar has faced external challenges, from the Cold War era to today's geopolitical rivals like China and Russia. Critics also argue that internal factors such as rising inflation, the growing federal deficit, and expanding government spending could weaken the dollar's dominance from within. Throughout history, the dollar's collapse has been predicted time and again, but these predictions have yet to come true. However, history also teaches us that even the mightiest structures can eventually fall. While there's no immediate threat to the dollar's position, it's still the dominant global currency, holding about 58% of the world's central bank reserves. It's worth considering what could happen if the dollar were ever dethroned. In this video, we'll delve into the series of unfortunate events that would need to occur for this to happen, exploring past examples, current vulnerabilities, and potential future scenarios. A currency collapse is when a nation's currency loses its value rapidly, causing economic chaos, financial distress, and often political upheaval. Prices for everyday goods skyrocket, debts become impossible to pay, and the economy starts to crumble. This has happened in countries like Argentina, Hungary, Chile, Angola, Zimbabwe, and Germany over the past century. The root cause of any currency collapse is a loss of faith in the currency itself. When people no longer believe that their money is stable or useful, the currency is in serious trouble. Once the trust is gone, the currency's value can plummet, leading to a full-blown crisis. When a country's goods and services become too expensive for foreign buyers, demand for its currency falls. For example, in 2001, Argentina's currency collapsed because its peso was overvalued, making its products uncompetitive on the global market. These occur when there is an unsustainable boom in financial markets, often due to excessive borrowing. In 2008, Iceland experienced this when its banks took on massive foreign debt, leading to the collapse of its currency during the financial global crisis. When a country has too much foreign debt and can't pay it back, it can lead to a currency collapse. Greece faced this in the early 2010s, leading to severe economic problems and a dramatic loss of confidence in its currency. Large government deficits can erode confidence in a country's ability to manage its economy. In 1999, Brazil's government overspent, leading to a sharp devaluation of its currency. Sometimes, a sharp increase in global interest rates can cause investors to pull their money out of a country suddenly. Mexico experienced this in 1994 when U.S. interest rates rose, leading to a massive outflow of capital and a severe currency crisis. These occur when speculation alone triggers a crisis, even if there are no clear signs of trouble. In 1997, Thailand experienced this when speculation led to a loss of confidence in its currency, sparking the Asian financial crisis. Understanding these different types of crisis helps explain how and why currencies can collapse, and why maintaining trust in a currency is so crucial for economic stability. First, picture a major cyber attack that disrupts U.S. financial systems while geopolitical tensions are skyrocketing. This chaos would trigger panic among investors, leading to a massive sell-off of U.S. assets and causing the dollar's value to plummet. As the dollar weakens, the cost of imports would soar, driving already high inflation through the roof. The Federal Reserve might try to fight this by raising interest rates, but the damage would be done. Businesses would struggle to pay their bills and keep employees, leading to a sharp decline in economic activity. Next comes the debt crisis. With higher interest rates and a shrinking economy, the U.S. government could find it difficult to manage its massive debt, raising fears of a potential default. This would further erode confidence in the dollar. As the U.S. economy spirals into a deep recession marked by high unemployment and business failures, people would scramble to move their money abroad. Seeing the dollar's instability, foreign governments and central banks would start dumping their dollar holdings, accelerating its decline. Countries and investors would begin seeking alternatives to the dollar, such as the euro or Chinese yuan, for international trade. This shift would shake the global economy, causing turmoil in countries that rely on the dollar. In the US, economic hardship and growing inequality would lead to widespread social unrest, making it even harder to stabilize the situation. Ultimately, the dollar could lose its status as a global currency, plunging the US into a prolonged period of economic and political chaos. The long-term value of the US dollar is influenced by America's fiscal and monetary policies. Large budget and trade deficits, funded by foreign investors through dollar-based assets, can raise concerns about the dollar's stability. Since 1972, the dollar's purchasing power against gold has dropped by 99%, highlighting the impact of these imbalances. If these trends continue, they could erode confidence in the dollar's future value. The Federal Reserve's massive monetary expansion, especially after the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic, has fueled worries about inflation and the dollar's stability. The Fed's balance sheet has grown significantly due to large-scale asset purchases and low interest rates, leading to some fear that the dollar could weaken over time. If the US continues this path, investors might lose confidence, fearing inflation or a significant depreciation of the dollar. While the dollar is still the dominant global currency, others are gaining ground. The euro is the second most widely held reserve currency, and China's renminbi is slowly increasing its presence in global trade. Additionally, some countries are exploring ways to trade without relying on the dollar, using their local currencies instead. Nations facing US sanctions, like Russia and Iran, are actively working to reduce their dependence on the dollar. These efforts to de-dollarize could gradually weaken the dollar's global dominance. Escalating trade wars and geopolitical tensions, especially between the US and China, could also threaten the US dollar's status. If tensions lead to a split between the world's largest economies, countries might accelerate efforts to reduce their reliance on the dollar, and China's development of alternative financial systems, like the cross-border interbank payment system, is one such effort that could challenge the dollar's global role. As the world becomes multipolar, the US will need to navigate these challenges carefully to maintain global trust in the dollar. While the idea of the US dollar collapsing may seem alarming, the chances of it actually happening are very slim. The most realistic threat comes from a combination of high inflation and rising national debt. If consumer prices soar, the Federal Reserve might have to raise interest rates sharply. Since much of the US debt is tied to short-term instruments, this could make it harder for the government to manage its interest payments. If foreign creditors lose confidence and start selling off their dollar holdings, it could trigger a serious financial crisis. Another scenario could involve the US entering a deep recession without dragging the rest of the world down with it. In such a case, global investors might move away from the dollar. Alternatively, a major power like China could return to a commodity-based currency and dominate the global reserve currency market. What are your views? Let us know in the comments section. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon.